right, guys, it is another Monday night session. I am the host of the Watercraft Journal. I am the editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal magazine. My name is Kevin Shaw. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're live with everyone, and we are hopefully cooking with gas with the new intro and getting all that kind of fun stuff all dialed in. And right out of the gate, we have a super chat from our friend Alex, and I'm going to read this out loud. Alex writes, looking to upgrade from a 2019 Yamaha VXR. Love the ski, but the wife doesn't like the wet and bumpy ride. We are looking at getting either an FX SVHO or a 310X. How do these models compare? He's from Pensacola, Florida. All right. Well, Alex, a couple things. Obviously, we're talking about riding with a second passenger. Thankfully, both machines are very good, high horsepower, great rough water watercraft. Both have really good storage, have actually pretty comparable storage, believe it or not. Obviously the Kawasaki is going to be a lot thirstier than the Yamaha. Yamaha enjoys the best fuel consumption of any of the supercharged watercraft, and to that end, you're going to be spending a lot less money on 91 or 93 octane. So that might be a little bit better for your pocketbook. Thankfully, the modern FX, we're talking 2022 and above, they went to an SMC fiberglass hull, and that has allowed the machine to be a little bit heavier, sits a little bit deeper in the water. It absorbs a lot more of the bumps and bangs and chatter that the Nano XL hull before it didn't really do as well. It's not going to be as deep or as really a straight line tracking hull like the GTX. Excuse me. Wow. Like the 310X. My apologies. And someone had noted like, oh, you need to change the ride plate. You do not need to change the ride plate with these new hulls. They are running effectively the previous generation FX or the previous generation Riva Racing ride plate, which is getting the nose up. So that will be that's going to be something that might work in your favor. It is. I know you're talking about a dry ride. There's a couple things to be noted here. Is that the FX hull is a sporty hull. All right. It turns in a lean, and it has more of an inside lean, meaning it turns to the inside of a curve, more than the Kawasaki, and certainly more than the ST3 Sea-Doo. ST3 Sea-Doo, quite frankly, turns very, very flat. Kawasaki turns on a lean, but you really got to put some body roll in it. You got to put some English on it. Really get your knee in the tray, and that's not the kind of riding that you're looking for. A lot of people are concerned about the Kawasaki being tippy or uneven at idle speeds or low speeds. That only ever happens if you're idling and you have the bars pinned and your weight is favoring the wrong side, the opposite side. And all of a sudden the ski is going to go high centered because, again, very steep, deep V hull. It's going to teeter-totter, all right? Yamaha's got a very round displacement style hull, and it's going to be a little bit more stable at low speeds, but it's definitely not going to be the ST3. So when we talk about wet ride, people who complain about Kawasaki typically are complaining about until they get to planing speed, which is about 20, 25 miles an hour. At plane, that ski is a phenomenally dry ride. All right. There's splash deflectors. There's high skirts on it. It does a really good job dispersing water. But below planing speed, you might get some water over the bow. You might get water coming in because, again, it's cutting through water. Okay. It's cutting. The Yamaha is on top. It is displacing water. It is pushing water out. So there is a lot in the DNA of these machines that is worth noting. Alex, I hope that answers your question. I would personally, in your situation, I would probably go with the Yamaha FX. And because I'm suggesting the Yamaha FX, and because I want to encourage more super chats like these, Alex is going home with the Yamaha backpack. Now, last week we offered the Yamaha backpack as a prize to one of our super chatters, and unfortunately, he was an international viewer, and I cannot afford $160 to ship a $45 backpack. I sent him a whole bunch of stickers. Canada, New Zealand, Australia, all of our international friends. I am very, very sorry, but shipping internationally right now is just absolutely cost prohibitive. So apologies to you guys. That is not to say we won't send you a whole bunch of stickers. I think I sent like 5 or 6, just because I felt terrible because he was offered a backpack. And then he hits me up and he goes, "Hey, I'm in Melbourne, Australia." And I'm like, "Bro, I can't send this to you." So I felt terrible, but that's the way it is. But seeing that Alex is in Pensacola, Alex, if you email me, in fact, I will put the email contact right here. Email me at info@watercraftjournal.com. Email me your address. I will send you out the backpack. So thank you again. Appreciate the super chat. And let's get this one going, unless we have another super chat out of the gate, which I do not see. Everyone, welcome our dearest friend Billy to the chat. I'm going to take a drink, and it's root beer. Google, please do not demonetize me. It's a Beta root beer from Louisiana. I've had a very long day, and I'm having something sweet. I know they don't like drinking on camera. It's root beer. I'm having a root beer. All right. And I'll chase it. And Billy knows exactly what I'm talking about the Abita. All right. I'm going to tell you guys, tonight's going to be really low energy. I have a good friend of mine who unfortunately was in a pretty severe motorcycle accident in Mexico, and he's pretty hung up in the hospital in San Diego. They had to airlift him out of Mexico, get him to San Diego. Unfortunately, the accident was so severe that they had to amputate his left leg, and he's not in good shape. And so a bunch of us all rallied to the house that he's renting out here. And I'm the only guy with a car, trailer, and a truck. So we loaded up the garage. We had to winch up his 1967 Pontiac GTO, which did not have any brakes of any form, no e-brake, no brakes, nothing. And get it out of the house and get it into a private storage unit. And I am what you call pooped. I am wiped out. That was a lot of effort. So yeah, it was. I only worked half a day and I am wiped out. So I apologize, guys, if everyone's like, "Dude, Kevin's dragging today." I'm like, I'm not cranky. I'm just really, really tired. All right. We made an announcement, and we're going to do a little bit of news. We're going to do a little bit of news before we get into the topic. So for you guys who are impatient or upset or are watching this at a later time, you can skip ahead probably a good 5-10 minutes. Had to announce something yesterday. Unfortunately, the moderator that we had, who was going in and making sure that everyone was getting at least some sort of reply, even if it was like a "hell yeah, buddy." Unfortunately, this was his last week with us, and great guy, fantastic guy, very, very grateful for all the help. And he had been signing into my account so that he could go into the YouTube channel and reply as the Watercraft Journal. And we realized it was just a lot. It was just a lot of time, and it was really for nothing. And there's a lot of guys who, quite frankly, were looking to pick a fight and wanted an argument and wanted to scream and yell and piss and moan. And it didn't matter what we showed them or what evidence or whatever it was. Everyone's got an axe to grind. So I just hit up Cody and I was like, listen, man, don't feel bad. I think we're just going to not kill the comment section, but I want to encourage anyone who is coming in, leaving comments with like actual real questions, real actual product questions. It's a lot of time for me to cut out of my day and answer a lot of these questions, especially as thoroughly as a person who emails me wants to get. And I want to give a thorough answer. The comment section in YouTube, I'm not going to sit there and peck out a 4-paragraph answer. So ultimately, what had to happen was we put up a post saying, listen, if you really have to get a hold of Kevin, contact him at info@watercraftjournal.com. And what we'll do is we'll have him answer the question. And the only thing that we ask is, because everyone's time is valuable, that if you appreciate his time, we appreciate your time. If you would make a donation of your choice to our PayPal, and I don't give a sum. I don't tell people how much to give. All right. But you appreciate my time, we'll appreciate your time, that sort of thing. And that's what we're going to do from now on, because ultimately I can't be everyone's consultant. And a lot of people come into the YouTube comments and be like, well, I don't know what to buy. I'm like, okay, I can't help you on that one. So that's going to be the biggest thing. And that's how I also handle the super chats here in the live session. So that's really kind of the big change going on with comments and people who have questions, is if you can't catch the live session and offer a super chat, then hit me up via email and we'll see if we can't help you out that way. All right. I had 2 super chats come in and I want to get to those, even though it's taking things out of order, but what the hell. All right. So Mark gave us a super chat, but then he followed up with his actual question. So let's grab Mark's question. Mark writes, do you see a time where the watercraft manufacturers market their watercraft more towards mileage, fuel range, and shy away from the horsepower wars? Absolutely. Mark, in fact, that's kind of been the MO for quite a few guys, and especially, honestly, and I know a lot of you have already seen my review of the Explorer Pro, but that is a big portion of the appeal of the Explorer Pro, is that it's naturally aspirated, and it has an 18.5 gallon tank, and then you can bring gobs more fuel with you. I mean, honestly, you can effectively bring another 20 gallons of gas with you, although that's a lot of weight on the back of your ski, and go for long rides. And that's kind of what they're swinging at with the Explorer Pro. To that effect, Yamaha's done the same with the FX HO and HO Cruiser. They do not have a gas caddy, or they do not have a spare gas attachment for the rec deck, at least not yet. I think if there is going to be something to that effect, they're going to offer a very safe, very very adult and safe offering. They're not going to have a fuel kit like we offer at the Watercraft Journal. So that is something that is going to be of some interest to see, especially as gas prices will continue to skyrocket this year and into next year, as currency deflates. So that's going to be really kind of some of the appeal. Now, even to that effect, that's kind of the impetus of tonight's lesson, or not lesson, but conversation topic, is the push towards naturally aspirated and having all your cake and eating it too. So, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but so Mark is getting a double answer, but for the first part, hopefully that kind of answers your question. Thank you again for the super chat. We got one more from Brady, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Brady writes, my dealership has a 2019 GTR 230 with 104 hours for sale at $9,700. I am looking to trade my 22 VX Cruiser as I'm wanting more speed. That's a good question. Here's the thing. 2020 is when Sea-Doo completely redesigned the GTI/GTR hull. The 2019 GTR 230 is a very fun, loose ski. It's playful, all right? It's not a hot rod. I mean, it's quick and it's peppy and it's a lot of fun, but it's not a screaming devil, all right? Even though it's supercharged, you're not going to get, 69, 70 miles an hour out of it. You're just not. You're going to get higher 60s, 67, 68, depending on how much you weigh and altitude and weather conditions and blah, blah, blah. But to that effect, the GTR 230 is a fun ski. And I really do like the GTR 230. It's 100 hours, which is low considering that it's 4 years old. But I'm surprised that you're not terribly interested, or I'm surprised that you're getting rid of the 22 VX Cruiser and that you're going from Yamaha to Sea-Doo. I'm kind of surprised by that. That's not to say one thing or another, but it is a curiosity to me, because I find the VX again, I'm a little too tall for the cruiser seats, but that's me personally. But I think is the VX a TR1 or is it an HO? If it's an HO, I'd say keep it, honestly. Now, if it's a TR1, then yeah, I get it. Jump to the supercharged ski if you want. It's going to have the old clutches. It's going to have the old supercharger. It's going to have the old Rotax. It's going to have, it does. It has, okay, Brady says it's got the TR1. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun little unit, but you're looking for something with a little more zip. I get it. I don't know, Brady, to be honest, I might pass on that one and see if you can't find a better deal on an HO, like a 1.8 liter VX, a VXR, dude. If you can get your hands on one of the early VXR R1, the previous generation, how they remember when they named it GP 1800R HO, before they ruined the name and just had it and called it the VXR, I would get the VXR. Oh, guy. That way you're not going into the fuel consumption. That way you're not dealing with an old supercharger setup. That way you're not dealing with other people's problems that are potentially catastrophic. I'm not saying it's a lemon. I am not saying it's a lemon. I'm just saying there's potential there. Man, I would really kind of keep your eyes peeled for an HO. I really would. Really would. Okay, get a drink. Okay. So Alex is saying he's got a 2019 VXR. We made a connection. Whee! It's an internet connection. Oh boy. All right. Upcoming videos are the same upcoming videos that I just haven't finished yet. Fall Mud Bug, and then I got to film the Strapino one. So yeah. Yeah. That one's got to wait. So yeah, Mike's like too many hours on the GTR. I just hate not knowing the history of it personally. Yeah, that's a problem. All right. I haven't even gotten into tonight's topic. All right, let's see here. I gotta take that. Okay. Take that question down. All right. Let's change the banner out. Here. Support the magazine. Buy a shirt. Okay. All right. Talked about the super chats. You got Alex's super chat with the backpack, and he's already emailed me. Very good boy, Alex. Alex is getting a backpack. Backpack. All right. Oh. Hey, just for fun. I don't know why I'm kind of rubbing salt in the wound, and I really shouldn't be this petty, but I'm gonna be this petty because I'm a jerk. So you guys remember last week's topic, talking about Yamaha and what's yeah, I'm not doing a politics podcast. All right. So so last week we talked about some of the stuff Yamaha's up to with marketing. And I thought, yeah, it's just really, I'm not saying they're being, because I don't know. I don't know personally, so it would be disingenuous. It would be a lie for me to say, oh, they're full of, they're full of, ideologues, and the whole office is they've hired a bunch of political activists. Well, that's not true. I don't know. Okay, and so it would just be an outright lie for me to say so, and I'm not saying that because I also extrapolate that I've known Yamaha well enough, corporate Yamaha, to know that these guys are very, very savvy when it comes to the political landscape, and their lawyers say, hey, listen, let's get hip on some, on appeasing some of the noisier politics out there. So after we did the podcast on Monday, I got a good laugh because apparently on Wednesday, Yamaha doubled down. Like hardcore doubled down. And I got a little bit of a snicker out of it. I didn't comment or anything like that. I didn't even like the picture. I like it. Here, I like it. But for you guys who can't read it, or you're listening to this while you're driving or whatever, let me read what the post is. All right. And don't get me wrong. All right. It's the FX. It's the FX with the rec deck with the lounge seat on the back, and they got a scuba flag up. And there's two ladies, one sunbathing, one swimming, having a great time. That's the whole purpose of these machines, is have a blast. But they put up this post, and it just absolutely went sideways. It was really funny. And it said, did you know women aged between 35 to 54 who are likely to be juggling many roles experience significantly higher stress than men, according to health studies? By the way, there was no hyperlink. When stress and anxiety start to take their toll, get out on the water for a boat ride. It's a great way to rejuvenate and recenter yourself. Serenity Now. Providing much needed relief from the chaos of everyday life. It doesn't matter if you're an experienced boater or just getting started. Yamaha's Women Run the Water is there for you with resources that will make boat ownership more enjoyable. Learn more at womenrunthewater.com. They bought a domain name called Women Run the Water. All right. So I was like, interesting. So I have to laugh because I don't know if you guys ever listen to him, but I've read a couple of his books, and I'm a big fan, is Dr. Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson has a great rebuttal to people who say that women women have more stress than men. And he starts rattling off all the statistics that hopefully absolutely disprove this. Men constitute 3 times more suicides. Men constitute something like 5 times more alcohol and drug addiction. They're more susceptible to depression. Men are more likely to take life-threatening risks. Men overwhelmingly occupy more dangerous job positions. We're talking high-rise, construction. We're talking explosives. We're talking demolitions. We're talking construction. We're talking all the many, many things that put a mortal being in danger. And then, of course, there's the fantastic comedian Bill Burr, who makes a joke about who always is joking about people who claim that motherhood is the hardest job. And he says, growing up a redhead in Boston, I did roofing in the summer. And he says, I damn near burst into flames. So he's like, don't tell me your job's hard when you're a ginger on top of a roof laying shingles. So anyways, guys, I thought this was just worth a giggle. I just had to laugh. I haven't even been the website link actually brought you up to a broken website, but now it is the official Women Run the Water website. And here's the best thing about this is that here we go. I'm the captain now. Here's the thing is that it's great to appeal to a new burgeoning market. Absolutely. 100% agree. I think it's interesting that it's not so much a effort for age demographic. I'm going to move the camera just a hair up. Sorry. It's not so much. It's interesting that they're not going after an age demographic like the Spark. The Spark, when they introduced the Spark, they pushed it absolutely towards the youth or young adult market, to the 20-something. Okay. They were not pushing it towards the 35-year-old or the 45-year-old who grew up on an HX and wants to relive his teenage years. They weren't pushing it for that. They were the number one buyer, but they were pushing it towards people in their 20s and early 30s. Either way, that was the official messaging of the original Spark. All right. And what's interesting to me is that they're not considering going for an age demographic rather than a gender, a very precise demographic, and to be honest, a considerably low one. I talked to one OE representative, not from Yamaha, who told me that across the board, women constitute, on average, 4% of total personal watercraft sales. Now, Chris McCluggage, it was funny. I was in a little chat or in a little thread on Facebook, and Chris McCluggage, who runs the Tequesta store for Broward Motorsports, he says, yeah, that's true, but half of my customers always say, oh, I got to check in with the wife. I go, okay, fair enough. So let's just say 95% of your customer base is men. 5%, just for round numbers, 5% are women. And you're telling me 95% are men, and half of that number say, I have to check in with the wife. So that's implying that 47.5% of your total market are unmarried men who do not need to check in. Okay. So why not target the crazy bachelor and do a whole YOLO, you only live once. Hey, bro, go be cool and ride jet skis and go be a badass. That's targeting 47.5% of your total buying market. Instead, you're focusing on 4 to 5% of your total market. Seems like a lot of money spent on a very, very precision group. All that to be said, I'm not dogging anyone. I'm not coming down on them. I just thought, again, it was pretty funny. So I thought it was pretty funny that Yamaha doubled down on the whole thing. So all right. Let's get into the topic now that I'm 30 minutes into this. Holy cow. All right, so all you guys who, all you poor guys who've been waiting for me to get on topic, here we go. Nope, wait, I'm not getting on topic. We have a super chat from Henry. We're never going to be. This might run long. I don't want to run long. I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. Henry writes, I agree with your point on beaching your skis. It's like taking a sander to the bottom of your ski. Buying anchor is the best investment you'll make. I agree. Now, couple things to that. Kawasaki's are gel coated. Gel coat fiberglass is the most resilient combo that you can have, bar none. Next on that list is the CM Tech, because it's an acrylic sheet. There's no paint. There's zero paint on your Sea-Doo. Zero paint. I challenge you to go find paint, and you let me know. And that does not include the ink used in stickers. All right? Actual paint. There's zero paint. All right? Even the engine is plasma coated. So anyways, with that being said, here, let's go back since we're not talking about the Cowie thing yet. Okay. So with that being said, the CM Tech is actually really is pretty resilient to scratches and sand and things like that. It will dull and mar the surface after a while. Or if you get a good, something really digs in or takes a chip out or something like that. So sadly, that's gonna happen. But sadly, Yamaha is the weakest of the three, and they're using an automotive grade paint, base coat, clear coat, 3-stage paint, and it's like taking the hood of your car and dragging it up a beach. It's just rough. So I do suggest for everyone to purchase an anchor. I know last year we announced that the Sand Docker was the official anchor of the Watercraft Journal. I still am very satisfied with the product, although there's no more promotion that we're doing this year. I think it's a fantastic product. It's made in America. It's lightweight. It doesn't take up any room. Great product. I like small American businesses. I support small American business. Okay. So I vote with my dollar. Whether you do, that's up to you. But I support Sand Docker in that one. So anyhow, the other half of that is what a lot of people don't consider. And when I go on rides and I watch people leave like the sandbar, I just laugh. And I over exaggerate my moves so that people see what I'm doing. Is whenever we've beached or we've come up on a sandbar and I don't have an anchor because I'm an idiot and I forget it, I will drag the ski out into the water about waist deep. And if it's got a swim step, I'll hold the swim step. If it's got just a bond, just hold. If it doesn't have a swim step, I'll grab the bond rail and I will pull it out of the water and push it under and do this a few times. It looks like I'm making waves, like in a swimming pool. The purpose of that is that I am purging the jet pump. I am pushing whatever sediment, sand, rocks, or whatever out of the stator. The stator is the portion of the jet pump with all the little, all the little veins, all the little blades in it. Okay. Because all your rocks and all that kind of stuff likes to get stuck in there if it makes it past the impeller. So I make a big show of me doing that. I don't say anything, but I just do it. All right. And the reason why is because so many people don't. And when you park your ski on a beach like that, you have tide. Even if it's on a lake, water's coming in, water's coming out. And in that water, there's sand and silt and debris and pebbles and rocks and shells and bottle caps and all this kind of crap. And I see so many people push their ski off the sandbar, fire it up, and sit there and idle. And it's just rah, 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 rah. It's a freaking rock tumbler. It's just grinding the crap out of their blade. And they go, what happened? It's because they don't consider it. So it's a twofold thing of don't beat your ski. Yeah, hull integrity, 100%. Number two, pump integrity. All right. I have to lean on that one. So, Henry, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the support. We got one more super chat, and I probably should shut up and start doing these things. All right, start doing the topic. I am 96% sure Yamaha didn't pick the colors of the 2023 FX SVHO to attract women. I don't know. I like the colors. I thought a lot of the colors. I thought a lot of the colors were good. Some people were really upset about them. I don't know. Every year people bitch about the colors. Every year they'll find one they really like, and then they'll piss and moan about the other one. So I don't know. Whatever. Steven, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. We are going to actually get on topic now. So last week was the announcement of the Kawasaki naturally aspirated Ultra 160 LX and Ultra 160 LXS. I was wrong about them renaming the naturally aspirated skis. I was told it was going to be, I don't know, LC or LA or something else. But they just kept the LX and LXS, and that's the way it is. We had a big Zoom call, big media Zoom call on Tuesday to go over everything, but I had kind of been made privy of that stuff a little bit earlier. So I was, it was kind of old hat, but hey, listen, I'm happy to be a part of the Zoom call. And, and listen to everyone and listen to the, this behind the scenes of what, what the spirit was behind doing this and why they chose this and why they wanted to do X, Y, just kind of get their take from it. So I sat there and was listening to the presentation, and there was like 10 other outlets on the Zoom call. And all of a sudden, they chime in and they go, and we're offering a naturally aspirated version of our top of the class, top tier, fully optioned 310 LX, and it's the 160 LX. And they stop and they go, so Kevin should finally be happy because that's exactly what he's been crying about. And I start laughing, and I was like, well, thank you. But I'm like, why am I getting singled out in this giant, in this big Zoom call with probably 18 people on it? And it was so funny that it was like Kawasaki thought it was so necessary to go, we're listening to Kevin, we know what he's talking about, and we're going to dump the money on it. And it was funny because I got a text message from another guy, and he goes, oh shit, dude. He's like, you need to start telling them to start building other stuff. And I'm like, maybe they'll listen. I don't know. I must have made a good argument for it. But it was really funny because they were like, hopefully Kevin's finally happy. And I turned to John. John Rawl was the guy at Cowie. And I go, John, I'm never happy. Anyway, so that was pretty funny. But that was really, really funny was how they approached it. And there's something to be, I got to cross some stuff off. All right. It's very interesting because the approach that Kawasaki is making, there's some reasons behind some of the stuff. And a lot of people don't, they're not seeing what's not written between the lines. And you kind of have to read between the lines on a lot of stuff. So, okay, for example, they come out with 2 units. Excuse me. They come out with naturally aspirated LX, 4S. You have the Jet Sound, 4-speaker Jet Sound. You have the big deck, ultra deck. You have the reverse facing camera. You got, 4 modes of acceleration. You've got the GPS speedometer, GPS compass, GPS waypoints, launch control, which I'm like, how many people are using launch control for naturally aspirated, but whatever. Every single thing you can imagine, or every single thing that came on the gold 310 LX is now on a naturally aspirated unit. And you go, oh, okay. I mean, just like across the board. There's just no supercharger, no intercooler. All right, cool. So that's really interesting because that puts Kawasaki's highest level naturally aspirated model kind of higher than anyone else, because even the FX HO Cruiser doesn't have the big screen, doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that you get on the SVHO or on the Limited. You just don't. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. And the GTX 170 is not as equipped as the GTX Limited 300. So you're not getting a lot of the bells and whistles. You're not getting a Cadillac. There's no naturally aspirated Cadillac except for now with Kawasaki. And you're like, oh, okay, surprise. And what was really interesting, and it kind of inverted my review of the 310 LXS, because my review of the 310 LXS was, it's a great ski, but it doesn't know what the hell it wants to be, because it's not a tow unit. All right, don't get me wrong. A lot of people are like, yeah, I totally do, Kevin. Oh, it's great. Most people don't want to tow their kid on a raft with 310 supercharged horse. All right, let's be real straight. Okay, that's a lot of freaking stone. That's a lot of oomph to tow your 8-year-old around on an inflatable. Okay, come on. But all that being understood, the 160 LXS suddenly leapfrogs and goes, we're the perfect towing unit that Cowie's been missing. That's their wake model. And you go, oh, that makes perfect sense. Now, does it come with a inflatable? No. Does it come with an inflatable, an actual air pump inflator? No. Does it come with a tow rope? No. Does it come with a wakeboard rack? No. So you're kind of like, that kind of sucks, So, can't hear or see you guys. Is my signal crap? Okay, I'm getting people worst streaming yet. Oh, well, sorry. Well, I'll tell you what. This is also probably because I have it at 1080p instead of 7. Whatever the hell, 780. I think that's the other one. Yeah. But it's not Wi-Fi. I actually have perfect internet signal. Audio was choppy, but it's good now. Okay. Weirdly. Sorry about that. I'll tell you what. I'll make a note, and next week we will reduce. We're going to reduce it from 1080 down to the 720. And see if that makes it easier. I am using Google, or I am using Chrome as it suggested. But no, I'm not going to reboot. That's going to kill the whole live stream. So, all right. So moving on. Because it hasn't kicked out here. It hasn't. Yeah, 720. Yeah, we'll do 720 next week, and we'll see if it's any easier. So, interesting thing, out of those two units, what was the one thing that was surprisingly missing? There's no base model. There's no stripped down Ultra LX. And that is kind of crazy. Is that there's no rental unit. There's no totally bare bones Ultra. And on the next day, I reached out, or it was later that day. I reached out and I said, "Hey, can I ask why? I don't have to print anything." And they go, "No, that's fine. That's fine. but they said, yeah, we're going to hold off on that. I said, really? And he goes, yeah, we're going to hold off on that unit. I said, oh, that's surprising. And they said, we really want to make an offering. Kawasaki does. He says, we really want to make an offering, a demonstration that we want the naturally aspirated enthusiast to get the most enjoyment out of a non-supercharged jet ski. And I said, well, those packages will certainly do it. And they said, yeah. And I laughed. I teased them. I said, oh, you took that metallic orange and you put it on a you put it on the 160 LXS. I'm like, oh, I love the orange. I love that orange, and you brought it back and you put it on that ski. And he goes, well, but again, we wanted something bright and flashy that would appeal to people. It would delineate it from the supercharged LXS. I said, okay, fair enough. And that it was a wake model and it was high visibility and it was fun and flashy. And I was like, okay, great. Sounds good. So it's a very conscientious effort, or they're very aware of the decision they made not to offer a stripped down rental unit. Because they're like, we don't want people to come in and just be, okay, we're going to buy just the rental unit. So all of that is to be understood that they are looking at a naturally aspirated, fully loaded cruiser, the guy who's not looking for top speed, but the guy who's looking for comfort and rough water comfort with fuel mileage. And that's going to be a 160, 1.5 liter, either LX or LXS. And then what was interesting was, and this kind of led on to a different conversation, because I had called later and we were chit-chatting back and forth. And I said, hey, a few people are kind of crying about the pricing. And they looked at it and they said, yeah, but what's the comparable unit that they're complaining about? Okay, Wake Pro. Okay, GTX 170. And they said, I want you to take all the features that the GTX 170 has, list them, and then take all the standard features on the 160 LX and list them. And it was 4-1. It was 4-1. It was crazy. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, we're including all of that because the GTX 170 does not come with a tech package. You got to buy the speakers and the dash, and then you got to have the Go or the BRP Go, and you got to, if you want the different seat, you got to opt for the different seat. And there's all this kind of stuff. Oh, you can't get the premium color. Oh, I can't get, oh boy. And so there's all this stuff that kind of stacks up. And they're saying, listen, we want to offer a premier fully loaded cruiser. We want just the guy who wants all the fancy crap, but doesn't want the supercharger. Perfect. Okay. Do I think they should have offered a different color for the LX? Sure. A silver or a pewter or they're going with adult colors, I thought it'd be really funny if they did gold, silver, and bronze, I'm like, that'd be kind of, so, okay, hey, do gold, the 310 is the gold, and then that 160 should be silver or pewter or something like that. And then bronze can be, I don't know, the R. I don't know. You gotta figure something out. So anyways, that was really interesting because they said, listen, our concerted effort is not on the budget-minded guy, but the guy who's willing to buy a premier vehicle who doesn't want the fuel consumption. I was like, oh, okay. So they're really pushing towards that kind of marketplace. And to hammer down one last point in this topic was, this is a market segment that Kawasaki has not addressed in 20 years. Think about it. This is a buyer that they have not offered a machine to at this caliber in over 20 years. And that speaks volumes. All right. That's going to really be a very unique, I don't know how to say this. Shoot, how do I articulate this? It's going to be interesting to see Kawasaki go, hey, listen, you know the guys who like being the fastest dudes and making the most horsepower and being super crazy and rowdy? Well, yeah, but we also offer this instead. So it's like, wow, okay. You know, it's like when Dodge comes out with an electric car, and it's like, okay, that's a terrible offering, but whatever. So, anyways, I just kind of have to laugh about that. I just thought that was kind of a hoot. So, that is to be said that I am actually very interested to see how well these new Kawasaki's are received, especially because never in my career thus far have I seen Kawasaki offer a mid-year introduction of a new vehicle. Their new products are typically revealed in September, October of every year, usually early October. Never in my career, all right, we're talking 18 years. Never in my career in personal watercraft. I've been in automotive publishing for 2 decades. But never in 18 years did I ever see Kawasaki drop a new unit halfway through the year. Blew my socks off. I was like, whoa, why are we doing this? And they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. We do it all the time. And I'm like, I've never seen it with watercraft. They're like, well, not really watercraft. So anyway. All right. So yeah, that was really surprising. I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, you know, Kawasaki is only 8% of the market share, and oh, they're so tiny, and blah blah blah. I'm like, listen, if they can pick up market share, why wouldn't you cheer them on? Why wouldn't you cheer? No, it was not a beer. It was a Beta root beer. Ow! I hurt my side digging in my trash can. So a Beta root beer from Louisiana, made with real sugar cane. It's actually fantastic, and it's one of the best. All right. Okay. So, new market, high prices versus value. I don't like root beer. Well, that sucks. I love it. Yeah, I don't drink. Sorry. I went to a party school. I got enough of that. I was done by the time I was 24. I was really done. I had a good friend of mine who was a cop who was there the last time that I got in trouble drinking, and knocked some sense into me. That was good. All right. So that is that with Kawasaki. I'm excited to see. Oh, I didn't even scroll through here. Guys, look at this. I got this all set up. Look at me. I came prepared, and I forgot to do this. I suck. All right. I'm not used to having, all this newfangled stuff. So, yeah, these are the 2 new units. Obviously, all the features are carryovers. A lot of these pictures are carryovers from the announcements before. The orange one really are the unique pictures that you're looking at. But, what do they call it? It is steel furnace orange, it's like metallic orange. Okay. Here's a neat thing. They also made a point of this, and I probably should bring it up, is they brought up a point and they said you can equip the orange LXS with everything on the LX. And I go, really? And they go, yeah. Excuse me. I am tired. I'm wiped out. Totally pooped. But why you say that, Rick? Richie? Why? The orange is bitching. You don't like the gold? Oh, God. Oh. Well, there's Cowie green. You can get Cowie green. What do you want? You want Yamaha blue? You want Sea-Doo yellow? Fire engine red? I know what you want. You want fuchsia. Rich wants fuchsia. I want a bright pink Cowie. That's what Rich wants. That's why he's so mad. Because he's not getting representation. I demand to be represented. All right, I'm teasing. Sorry. Just not orange. A soft mauve. I hear taupe is very soothing. Sand pebble gray. Orange, maybe on a molar? You mean Mopar? Yeah, Mopar. Yeah, Hemi orange. No, it's a neat orange. You should see it in person. It's pretty bitchin'. Lambo, Roscoe, Acanthus, Cowie. Okay. Mopar. Haha, nice. Yeah, black. I don't think you'll ever see. Well, no, Cowie did do black a couple times. Plum Crazy. Yeah, purple. Sea-Doo did purple. And they literally joked, and they're like, "Oh, Kevin likes Mopar. He's gonna want a purple one." And that's why they gave me an RX-PX in purple. I'm like, I'd rather have yellow. I'd rather have freaking school bus yellow than purple. They're like, you like Mopar? I'm like, oh, jeez. So anyway, Rainbow Rick. Sorry. I think I'm responsible for that. That's not fair. Sorry. But hey, okay, so check this out. This is actually really interesting. Is they have an optional accessory package or accessory line that if you want to equip the LXS with everything the LX has, the menu or the factory won't install your 4S speaker system, but the 4S speaker system will be installed by the dealership, as well as the air diffuser, the little airfoil, the meter visor. And they will also change out your seat. And this second seat that you're seeing right here, okay, this guy right here, that one giant cursor, okay, that second seat is identical in shape and contour as the brown two-tone seat that you get on the LX, all right, and it is adjustable. You can get the adjustable seat on the luxury seat, LXURY, luxury seat. So you can get an adjustable luxury seat, just not in brown, on the orange LXS. So you can effectively have an orange LX if you want one. Or you can equip your green supercharged LXS. Oh, words. Oh my gosh. I am so fried. Okay. You can equip your Cowie green one with all this stuff. You can equip. They actually offer it. You can check all the boxes at your dealer if you want it. Again, I did a whole video going like I'm kind of over all of the sound systems and all the bells and whistles. I kind of want it stripped down, but I'm not everyone, and I'm not although I proselytize a little bit of how I feel, I don't make a convincing argument to make everyone go, yeah, screw radios. I want to go, strip down, which, although I really wish you would, because, man, bare bones is awesome. Okay. So, boy, we're already at an hour. This has actually gone really quick. So that was something really unique, was that they are offering they're offering options to equip your non-LX with all the LX stuff. Okay. Pretty cool. I don't think we need to do the video. Let's see here. Yeah. Doop 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 doo. Same engine we've had since 2004. Just better engine management. Okay, yeah, reverse facing camera. Okay, so this came into play big time. This came into play during the Zoom call, because they're like, this is what's going to catapult the 160 LXS into the tow sports hierarchy. All right. I wish they had something for like a rack, or I wish they had something that would accommodate either a wakeboard or a ski or even an inflatable. But that gets into the territory of a dedicated wake machine. But again, that's kind of the purpose. So I don't know why they're pussyfooting around just calling it a tow sports machine. All right. Let's see here. Yep, same size screen. I do not know if the LXS has the USB port or not. I don't think it does in this picture. JD's here. JD owns an LSX 310. Did yours come out with the did yours come to you with the USB plug in the glove box? JD, if you can answer that for me, that'd be great, because I don't know if it came with it or not. I know there's a double plug on the LX, but I don't know if the LXS comes with a single or double plug in the glove box. So chime in here when you can, all right, JD? He might be off powdering his nose. They both have the headlights. I know they're not headlights. They don't cast a beam. Angel is saying no. 310X does not, but does the LXS, your green LXS. Angel says no. He installed it himself. Yes, so that means that it did not come with it. See, okay, JD's from South Florida. He's doing bumps of cocaine right now with Chris Stone. No, I didn't think. Yeah, it had to be installed. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Alrighty. So that's really the one thing I would probably put on even a 310X is I would just go put a USB port on it, just because I bring my phone. I like to keep it charged. God forbid you get stuck somewhere. You want a fully charged phone. All right. Yes, I know the 310 does. The 310X does not. I'm talking about the LXS. All right. All right. All right. Well, good. I think we're done. I think we're good here. Did we get any more super chats? All right. The LXS does not. Yay! That's all I was asking. All right. Funny. It comes with a reverse-facing camera, but it doesn't come with a USB port. All right. Yes. Okay, very good. If you do opt for the Jet Sound, it will include your plug. Whew. All right. Any super chats, or am I leaving this early? Because I'm wiped. And I got to go back and help move tomorrow. It's got a lot of stuff. All right. Super chats. Waiting on a super chat. How many likes do we have right now? We got 126 people watching. Why don't you guys hit a like button? Hit the like button. Anybody? All right. All right. Well, good. We are out of a lot of hype over window dressing a 10-year-old hull and engine. It's older than that. It's 07. The engine's even older. The engine's from 04. But new engine management, so it's better engine management, all fly-by-wire control, multiple tunes, multiple mode settings. So the engine itself is pretty good. And the hull is still one of the most superior hulls on the market. I would like to see a change to the ride plate, personally. And I would like to see more automatic trim. There's going to be articulating trim, depending on settings in the future. Future tech. Ooh. But whole top deck is completely redesigned, totally new ergonomics. New doesn't always necessarily mean better. All right. Nano Excel 2 was new. Didn't go so great. Okay. Paint instead of gel coat was new. Not so great. I'm not really sure if new means better. So likes went from 40-ish to 70-ish. Can we get to 100-ish? How about 90-ish? All right. Boat and pool life. Okay. All righty. I'm not seeing much else. I'll keep my GTR 230. It's a great ski. GTR 230 is a hoot. I think you'd be crazy not to, or I think you'd be crazy to get rid of it. It's a great ski. How would it perform against an FX HO? Define perform. Rough water rides. Still rough water hull. It would be fantastic in the butch. But again, they're not talking to guys who stand up, get up on the bars, get their feet behind their hips and actually ride it like a rough water boat out in the ocean. Performance wise, it's going to have in worse fuel mileage than the HO. It's going to have more weight, so it's working harder to move it. So it's definitely going to have more fuel consumption than the HO. That's a given. Storage wise, they're pretty tight, but I got to give it to the HO. The glove box is outstanding on the HO, and the front bin is monstrous. It's the size of the trunk of a Cadillac. It's huge. But rough water ride, I'd give it to the HO. Ergonomics, shoot, dude, they're pretty tight. Cowie really stepped it up. It took him a while. But I'd really tell you, I really got to tell you, man, ergonomically, especially if you're sitting down, if you're an older guy, if you got bad hip or bad knees or something like that, ergonomically, the new Ultras are pretty stinking good. So I kind of got to give it to them on that one. Both of these naturally aspirated skis are coming with the Ultra deck. All right. So you're buying it with that deck on the back. All right. Do I like it? Not really. Would I prefer it without? Personally, yes. Does that mean you should? No. Because a lot of people are going to be like, hey, this is great for my kids to jump off and go swimming or to drag a raft with me until we find a nice empty spot and we'll go ride there. And so you kind of have that. No, I did not take a CBD gummy today. I didn't need to. I was not hypercaffeinated. All right, WD-40. Oh, hey, thanks, Rough Water. I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you for the support. All right. Well, guys, we're at $1:10. I am going to check out because I'm going to crawl into my bed. I'm actually wearing pajamas. My wife's like, because I was in work clothes, I was in grubs, and I'm like, I gotta take a shower. And she goes, well, are you gonna change clothes after that? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna put on pajamas. So I'm sitting there in my pajama bottoms, just like hanging out doing a podcast in my home office. I'm really phoning this one in, guys. So anyway, yeah, okay. You know what? Do you guys want to talk about that? All right. So Paul has a good comment. All right. Paul says, let's bring up Paul's. All right. Here's Paul's question. Oh, Steven, good super chat. Oh, that's new. It just came up. All right. I'm going to get to Steven's super chat in a second. Paul writes, I have an issue with bending over the steering wheel to go into your storage bin. That's why I'm getting the Sea-Doo. Okay. So that's a very good it's a very good question. It's kind of a complaint that a lot of people have, and especially considering what Sea-Doo has offered people with the center storage. It kind of offers a superior option. And here's my complaint is I normally don't need to store that much stuff in the front. And if I do, I often don't need to access it on the water. What I access on the water is maybe a bottle of sunscreen, maybe a bottled water, maybe my wallet, which I keep in a little dry box, keys, phone, wallet, that kind of stuff. Or GoPro cameras, because I'm filming, because I have to make content for you monsters. Because it's a bucket with no bottom I keep pouring water into. And a lot of folks are like, well, I love the center storage. I'm like, yeah, the center storage is great. All right. It's very convenient. It makes life easy. But it comes at the cost of what I consider to be singularly the worst runabout hull that I have had the displeasure of testing since the Honda F12. It's a long time ago. It was like 06, 07. So that's one thing. Number two is that there's no glove box. And don't tell me there's a glove box. There's no glove box. It is a tiny little cubby that barely holds a small smartphone, and you can barely cram anything else in there, like a wallet, or if you have one of those like money clips, credit card money clips, you have no room in that damn thing. All right. That glove box is insulting. All right. Yamaha's glove box, I can shove my giant head in my giant pink melon inside of that glove box. It's so damn big. It is monstrous. And now it's lit. It's literally got USB lights and a plug, and it's rubberized. And if you spill something in there, you can pull the whole rubberized boot out and clean it off and put it in. And it's super useful. And I got to give it to Yamaha on this one. Everyone thinks I'm anti-Yamaha, and I'm like, I just really got to give it to Yamaha. I'm like, dude, the FX is the ultimate. The FX is the ultimate Yamaha full-size runabout. The current FX is the best iteration I've seen of a full-size Yamaha runabout. It is. Do I wish it was available without sound? Heavens, yes. Do I wish that they had more of a racy seat that was more of a performance seat? Yes. Do I wish that there was better quality control and build quality? Absolutely. But I am telling you, I love the FX. What do you mean you lost your wallet? Was it that big that it just like disappeared in there? Or did it fly out? They did have a terrible latch for a while, and then they got a really good rubberized latch that I thought was really good in it. So I'll give you that. But let's go. I had another super chat I want to answer. Hide. Show. Kevin. I'm Kevin. You're Steven. Good Lord. I swear. Steven writes, when will the STX get KSRD, Ultra R, and 2025 STXR ever? Very good triple question. STXR, very, very unlikely. Sadly. I would love to see the STXR happen. I don't see it happening. I believe the 310R is going to show up this October for a 24 model. Maybe 25 if they have a really good year and they want to stretch it out a little bit longer. But my belief is that the R is coming out this October. What do I think it'll be? Black and green. Woo! Surprise. I also think it'll also just be fixed steering and a special seat. And that's about it. Will it start in sport mode? No. Or full mode? No. Will it start with launch control? No. Will they do anything that would make that ski stand out mechanically? No. Why? I don't know. I don't know why they don't embrace it. Because the R should start in full mode. The R should start with launch control engaged always. It should be its default. It should be the default setting. Should be full mode with launch control on. That's my opinion. And then it should have it should have Tim Bushman's ride plate, damn it. That's what it should have. They should just pay him for licensing and cast that ride plate so it has a big K on it or a big 310R cast into the damn thing. And it should be the 310R ride plate. And everyone should have, and everyone's going to want that damn ride plate and make them go to Kawasaki dealerships to go buy it. Hey, exclusive item. Great. All right. By the way, the Tim Bushman ride plate isn't even the best one. All right. I've talked to Craig Warner. I've talked to the guys who were factory race. And they're like, it's good. We have a better one. And I'm like, really? And they go, yeah, we have a better one. And we have one for offshore. We have one for flat water. And I was like, oh. Is there an in-between? They're like, yeah, it's on the ski. But if you want a good flat water one, we got one. If you want a good rough water offshore Pacific Ocean Catalina Offshore Nationals ride plate, we got that one too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. Sell that. Put it on the R. Why won't you put it on the R? Embrace the R. Lean into the R. But whatever. So, Steven, thank you. Appreciate the super chats. Now it's another 10 minutes later, and I am done. I'm buying a C5 Corvette. Want to race? Like top speed? No. Dodge Charger is designed like a brick with air dams. You want a drag race? I'll drag race you. I'll drag race you with the motor I have right in the engine right now, and that's weak. All right, my compression's a little low because I've glazed one of the cylinders. But that's okay. All right. Billy hardly puts any hours on his skis. He's kind of a tourist. He comes in here to talk a big talk, but, the guy's never on the water. All right. I think we're done. All right. No more super chats. Ah, dang it. There's another super chat. Henry, what would what would win in a race? Kevin's Charger or Dom's Charger? Okay. So Dominic Toretto's, we're talking the first Fast and Furious. So what, 2002? Was it 2001 or 2002? Couple things. Dom Toretto's Charger, as described versus what it was. As described, the car ran a 998. He said the wrong raceway. That raceway had been closed. We're presuming he means Pomona. All right. So he ran 990s. I do not ET 990s. I run a 1088. All right. I ran a 1088 at 126 miles an hour. And what the hell was my 60 foot? Was it 156? God, I can't remember. I think my 60 foot was 150, was 150, was 1.56 seconds. Anyway, but yeah, so as described, no, Dom's car would walk on me. I have a lot more weight because I have a full interior. It's a full steel car besides the hood. Excuse me. It's not a fuel cell. It's naturally aspirated. Here's the problem: is the engine shown? They do not talk about cubic inches. What you do see is a BDS blower on not a 426 or what would be larger, but a second generation Hemi. What is actually shown is a Hotheads first generation 392 motor with a BDS blower. Those engines, and Dom's car was an alcohol car. It ran alcohol. All right. He was not on pump gas. I run 93 from Shell up the street. That's an alcohol motor. All right. It's the wrong engine in that car. And only once was there a true 426 Hemi, and it was like a 528 stroker that was built by Ray Barton. And that was for like Fast 5, I think it was in there. But a blown alcohol first generation motor is about 900 horse, about 750 pound-feet. They did not make the low end on those, and it was all top end. They spun the bajungus out of that freaking motor. They just 9,200, and they rang the hell out of it. The pistons are this big around. Actually, the pistons are about this big around. I have one. So this is a fuel. That's a fuel piston, not alcohol. So anyways, yeah, you kept me going for another 5 minutes. But yeah, obviously the problem is that Dom was running some very low profile 28.5 by 15s. I think there were yeah, like a 28-inch tall tire on an American Racing torque thrust. It wasn't even a D. It was just a torque thrust chrome or a polished torque thrust from American Racing. And it was a 15 by 8 rim on an 18.5-inch tall tire. And I'm running Mickey Thompson ET Street Super Stocks 295 65. No, that's not right. I'm not running 65, am I? $295 65 15s. That's right. I am running a 65. Why did I think I was running a 70? Maybe those are my Hoosiers that I used to run. Okay. Anyway. Dom could do a wheelie. Dom did a wheelie using 2 pneumatic arms on casters, and it is nigh impossible for a super stock door slammer to burn the tires while doing a wheelie. There are some slingshot dragsters that could. There are some. There were actually a few of the altered wheelbase cars that could, but not a 3,200 pound 70 Dodge Charger. Too big of a car. Too heavy, too big. All right, I'm done. No more super chats. You guys got me talking Dodge Chargers and Fast and Furious. All right, guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Sorry about the low signal. I don't know what happened on this one. We're going to go to the 720p next week, and we'll see if that does a little bit better. No, they didn't use smoke bombs. They did a burnout. They might have used a smoke machine, but I know that they used pneumatic arms to lift the front of the car. Okay, so anyway, guys, thanks again. If you haven't already, please subscribe. That is on the ticker on the bottom. And if you have any questions that bear a longer, more thorough answer, I recommend that you do email me directly at email@watercraftjournal.com. I'm not going to be in the comment section. We're not going to be answering these questions in the comment section. We appreciate your comments. You guys can argue and fight and call each other names in the comment section. I don't really care. Besides vulgarity, because I think they have the family settings up on profanity, and I think hyperlinks also gets you bumped. But yeah, because it was like, hey, come to my channel. We're not going to share your comment. So, anyways, guys, that's it. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.